This is
In
class
this
7.
session, we learn some applications of total internal reflection. That is, there are two ways. One to explain natural phenomena. Another application is creating the technical gadgets using this phenomena. Now, first of all, you might have observed in the nature like this, say, when you are moving on a road in a vehicle in during summer days or during hot days, a distant point in front of you on the road, you might have observed there is some water. But as you approach that, the water will not be seen. This illusion of water is created by total interreflection phenomena, and this is what we call as mirage. So, mirage is created due to total interreflection. Now, we will try to explain the formation of mirage. Formation of mirage. Say, we imagine there's a hard surface like this, hard road or hard sand on the desert or something like that. There is a tree or something like this. There's a tree or some objects like that there. And you are here. Now, as the air above the road or desert sand surface is hot, say the very hot layer is nearer to the surface of hot surface, and upper layers of the air becomes a little bit cooler and cooler. That means their density is also more and more. That means we have, say, change in the refractive index of the medium, say refractive index of the layer near to the hot surface is less, and above that, which is little bit cooler, is more, and above that, which is much cooler, it's more, like that. Therefore, in the atmosphere, the hot surface, just the air just above the hot surface is rarer, and slightly above that rarer medium there is slightly cooler, and that is little bit denser. Therefore, when a ray of light traveling from an object downwards, it starts traveling from denser to rarer, and in each case it goes on refracting and finally reaches your eye like this. So there is a total interreflection at the bottommost layer, and it gives you an illusion that the object, what you are seeing, is the reflection and there is some water. This is the explanation for mirage formation. Let me go through it once. Say once the surface is hot, the air above that is rarer and its refractive index is also less, and more that is above that layer, slightly cooler layer is there, its refractive index is more. Above that layer, refractive index is slightly larger, like that. When a ray of light from an object like tree or something like that, once it starts downward, moving downward, it experiences denser to rarer. At a point, it undergoes total interreflection and starts traveling towards us. So in that region, in that direction, we observe the light rays, and we get an illusion that there is some water and it reflects the object there. So this is the formation of mirage. This is one of the natural phenomena what we can explain. Can you think of this similar formation in the cold countries? In fact, in the cold countries, what is there on the icebergs on the sea can be seen in the sky as the mirage, but that is not called as mirage, that is called as looming. Looming. It's not mentioned in the textbook, but for the sake of curiosity, I am giving you looming. So, in nature, we have mirage and looming, what can be explained with the help of the total internal reflection phenomena. Now, what are the technical applications of this? Say, first application is, say, what we are using nowadays for telephone network connections, internet connections, and all those things, what is called as optical fiber. Optical fiber. Optical fiber is a thin hair-like structure made of high refractive index, say glass or plastic. And we learn before proceeding with the optical fiber working, we learn the construction. Usually optical fiber consists of a central core. This is called as core and it is made of high refractive index material. The surrounding region, it is surrounded by another material of low refractive index called as cladding. This is the basic structure of optical fiber, what we use in communication and in medical diagnostic also. So, basically, to define what is optical fiber, it is a thin hair-like structure made of high refractive index glass or plastic. With these ideas now, how the optical fiber works? Say, there's one interesting factor regarding the optical fiber before learning the optical fiber working. Say, once you take a long optical fiber and if you wind it like this, and if you allow light to pass from this side, it will come out this. So, it seems to be there is a violation of property of the light, that is light propagates in straight line, because once light enters into this tube, this goes on traveling inside the optical fiber and it comes out. Why this comes out like this, to be explained or to be learned now. That is where we learn the working of optical fiber. Say, we start like this, just observe. Optical fiber, I write the cross section of it. Say, this is the core and we take this one like this, and surrounding this there is a cladding which goes like this. This is the cladding. It is low refractive index material and core is high refractive index material. Now, when a light enters into this optical fiber, how it travels we learn. Say, once light is allowed to enter into this at suitable angle, where it falls on the, say, core and cladding interface, it is made to fall with larger angle of incidence, more than the critical angle. So, it undergoes a total internal reflection and it goes with multiple total internal reflection and it finally comes out. This is the working of optical fiber. Because of this idea, even when we roll the optical fiber, light entering at one end will come out of the other end because of the multiple total internal reflection and zigzag manner path of the light inside the optical fiber. So, this is about the construction and working of optical fiber. But where do we use this optical fiber? As I mentioned as an introduction in the previous class, say this is used in fiber optic internet connections nowadays, what is very prominent and more faster internet work providing thing. And also the next idea is where we use this is in the endoscopic diagnostic tools, that is endoscopes. Endoscope means a light pipe like this, a optical fiber is allowed to, say is asked to swallow by a patient, and it enters, when it enters into the patient's body through esophagus, there they beam a light onto the internal organs through this, and the reflected light is received, and using that they can see the internal organs with the help of optical fiber, and they can do surgeries also. You may know, say, minimal invasive surgery, what is done by using this these optical fiber tools. So these are the applications of optical fiber. Now, the second technical application of total internal reflection is, I just pose a question. You may know what is called as periscope. Periscope is a device used to see the objects at different height at the lower height. That is usually used in submarines to see the ships on the surface of water by sitting inside the submarine inside. This is what we call as periscope. I write a simple diagram of periscope. It consists of a tube like this, usually in the not very much, say, things like this, not very much accurate instruments. They use mirrors there. And what is the path of the light here? When light ray from the object enters here, it gets reflected back onto this mirror and it can be seen here. Here the observer is there. Here the light from the object is there. But these mirrors, when we use this in military operations, they are not of, they will not survive many situations there. That's why they usually use what we call as total reflecting prisms. That is another application of total internal reflection. Here, as you can see in this periscope, we turn the light ray through 90 degree. To turn the light ray through 90 degree, we have used mirrors, but the mirror coating may tarnished and we may not get good quality work in the long time. To avoid this, in the good quality periscopes, we use what are called as total reflecting prisms. The total reflecting prisms, total reflecting prisms. These are also used in binoculars. As you know, binocular is just a telescope, but major difference between binocular and telescope is, in telescope we see the object's image inverted. In binocular, in higher end binoculars, we can see the images straight as they are. How it is possible? Again, by using what is called as total reflecting prism. Now we learn what is total reflecting prism. It is just a right angled isosceles glass prism. It is just a right angled isosceles glass prism, or may be made of any material but with critical angle less than 45 degree. This is the 90 degree part, and this is the prism, and this prism is called as total reflecting prism. Another name for is poro prisms. Poro prisms. One use, what we already mentioned, is to turn the light ray through 90 degree. Then we can also turn the light ray through 180 degree, and also we can correct the inverted image of the object. So how we do that? We write the ray diagrams for that, and then we proceed. First of all, I write ray diagram for turning the light ray through 90 degrees. Say, I imagine a light ray is entering from this direction. Here, the angle of incidence is around 45 degree, which is more than the critical angle. The light ray undergoes total internal reflection, and as you see now, it undergoes 90 degree turn there. So this is how we can turn the light beam through 90 degree. This is how we can use it for periscopes. In the second situation, how do we turn it through 180 degree? Say this, for that I write the prism like this. this is 90 degree and this is the hypotenuse side of the prism. Now, when a ray of light is allowed to fall like this, observe here one total internal reflection happens and here one more, it goes back. Because at all these points of incidence, angle of incidence is 45 degree because of the right angled prism, and definitely it is more than critical angle, it undergoes total reflection. Observe here, the light ray from here undergoes reflection, it turns through 180 degree. This is the ray diagram for 180 degree turning. How do we correct the inverted image? That's also similar. Can you guess? Say using this also you can do, or I write one more way in which we can do the turning of the image. Observe, I am writing the prism now like this, and I write an inverted arrow here as our object, AB here. Now we start drawing the light ray from this, say this is one light ray and another light ray is like this. Now observe, here at this, once they enter into prism, they undergo refraction like this, and here it undergoes total internal reflection, it goes like this. In the same manner, this ray also undergoes refraction and a total internal reflection like this. So after that it comes out like this and it also comes out like this. Observe now, clearly the blue color light, which is point A, is up now and point B is down. Therefore, the image now after this is again correct. So this is another application to correct the inverted image. So these are the three applications of total reflecting prism, and therefore total reflecting prism, which is based on total internal reflection, can be used like this for many purposes. Apart from these two applications, there's one more technical application, what is used in ornamental creations. What are those things? Say, diamond is a form of, it's a form in which carbon appears. But diamond, as once we get it in mines, is not glittering. But once we put it into the ornaments, they glitter. Why it happens? Because once we get the diamond from the mines, it is to be cut properly, and once it is cut properly, once light enters into it, it starts sparkling. Why it happens? Say once diamond cutter cuts it, because of the lower critical angle of the diamond, which is 24.4 degree, critical angle for diamond is 24.4 degree, which is very small. Because of that, once light enters into the properly cut diamond, it undergoes many internal reflections and comes out in some other surface. Thereby, once we turn the light, our eyes into that, we get glittering experience there. There is another application of total internal reflection what we use in today's world. So these are the two important applications of total internal reflection, technical applications. Please remember, to explain natural phenomena like mirage formation, we use internal reflection, but it is not the application of total internal reflection. The technical applications are these three. One is optical fiber, second one is total reflecting prism, third one is to make diamond sparkle. But observe, let me go through some definitions once again before concluding this. First of all, optical fiber definition. It's a thin hair-like structure made of high refractive index plastic or glass. Usually, once we say thin, its length is of order of 450 micrometers to 500 micrometers, and core diameter is overall 50 to 100 micrometer only, very, very thin. And then second, thing to be remembered is total reflecting prism. It's a right angled isosceles prism, usually made of glass or material whose critical angle is less than 45 degree. So to write the definition for total reflecting prism, we can simply write it's a right angled isosceles glass prism. So what are the applications? To turn the light ray to 90 degree, to turn the right ray to 180 degree, to correct the inverted image. And last application is diamond sparkling. Once diamond is obtained from the mine, it is cut properly by diamond cutter, and then that person, when he cuts it, he has to cut it properly so that the faces are properly there. So once light enters into it, undergoes multiple total internal reflections because of its low critical angle, and then it comes out from arbitrary faces there. So it starts giving us the glittering effect.